Welcome, 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 and congratulations. And I think that graduation's a little bit like getting married. Don't worry, I'm not going to get philosophical just yet. But sometimes, you know, you're at a marriage ceremony and you start wondering who it's about. Well, it's certainly not about you, because you got to shake so many hands. But I think what I've come to realize, that marriage is about us. It's about a community of folks that come to support us and nourish us in the same way that this graduation, while undeniably focused on the students, is about us collectively. It's about all the folks that are here supporting and testifying to the perseverance necessary to accomplish your goals. So what I'd like to do before I get started, just so we know those are prefatory remarks, I'd like for the class of 2017 to stand up. That's your, what did you say? 2018. What did I say? What did I say? 17? All right. I stand corrected. I'll blame somebody else. My notes are wrong. I'm just kidding. No notes. So I want you to, we're going to make some noise in a second. And we're going to make some noise so that the people here supporting you feel your gratitude. Gratitude that you should express for something that was given both unexpectedly and undeservedly. So I want you to point your energy towards the folks that are here supporting you. And I'm going to give you a 1, 2, 3, and I want to see how loud we can get. 1, 2, 3. Just for the record, it's for class of 2018. I'm just kidding. All right, sit down, give it up. So I want to share with you just 2 brief reflections. But first I want to thank Rob Oliva, David, Gabrielle, and a team that put this together. I'd like to give them a round of applause for managing this space. A lot of people to thank, but here are 2 reflections. One is about a woman named Jillian Lynn. This is a story that became more prominent with Ken Robinson doing a TED Talk. Jillian Lynn, most of you don't know who she is, but you know who Andrew Lloyd Webber is in Phantom and Cats. And here's how the story goes. At 8 years old, school teachers told her parents that Jillian had a problem. She was sick, she couldn't focus. They needed to get her some help. They suggested that she go see a psychiatrist. So the mother took her to a psychiatrist, and psychiatrist in conversation said to Jillian, you know, Jillian, I need to talk to your mother in private for a second. Is it okay if you just sit in this room while I go outside? And the young Jillian said, that's fine. And as he stood up, he turned on the radio and he told the mother to come out. And the mother said, what are you doing? She said, just watch. All of a sudden, she started tapping her finger on the desk. Then she started tapping her foot on the floor to the rhythm of the music. Not knowing anybody was watching, she stood up and started dancing in the office. And the psychiatrist had the wisdom enough to say, there's nothing wrong with your daughter. She's a dancer. When they took Jillian to dance school at 8 years old, it was the first time that she realized that she wasn't alone in the world, that there were people just like her in the world. She went on to dance at the Royal Ballet of London, was a lead choreographer, and helped Andrew Lloyd Webber on Phantom of the Opera and Cats. And what I want to encourage you, young folks especially, is you got to believe in yourselves, and you got to stay true to yourself, authentically live your lives. Don't let the world dictate what lives it thinks you ought to lead. The great playwright Bernard Shaw said, "Reasonable people adapt themselves to the world. Unreasonable people persist in adapting the world to themselves. And all progress depends on the unreasonable people." So think about what it is that you're going to do. Are you going to allow the world to dictate to you the life that it thinks you ought to live, or are you going to break out and be reasonable and live the life that you believe you ought to live? Critical question. Second reflection. If I said to you that among our graduates today sits before us somebody who's going to help us colonize the moon, you might wonder, do you think somebody among these people is going to help us colonize the moon? Maybe, maybe not. But what you wouldn't call into question would be the fact that human beings will soon colonize the moon. But if I offered a reflection that suggested that among us sits someone or some group of people who are going to eradicate world poverty, eradicate preventable disease, create conditions where all children on the planet get to go to bed fed, you would ask yourself a different type of question. Is this guy serious? There can't possibly be anybody in our midst that is going to accomplish that, because those are goals that are utopian, utterly idealistic and romantic. And I want to suggest to you that that's the challenge before you, your generation. Are you going to allow us to tell you that those are romantic goals, utopian and idealistic? Or are you going to show us that we are committed to living in a just world where all children have the opportunity to go to bed with full stomachs? I believe fundamentally that it's possible, and our imagination can let it be so. If we believe we can colonize the moon, there's no reason for us not to believe that we can eradicate poverty for all human beings. And I am hopeful that you can do that. You can demand the impossible. And that's really what I ask you to do. Demand the impossible. Soon, as St. Francis tells us, you do what's necessary, you then do what's possible, and before you know it, you're doing the impossible. So as I take my seat, I ask you to watch your thoughts, because they become your words. Watch your words, because they become your actions. Watch your actions, because they will become your character. Watch your character, because it will become your destiny. Thank you very much. Congratulations.